adventurers! Mia here. In this first part, we will learn how a Python dictionary stores and changes linked information. Then, in part 2, we will use the same dictionary inside Ren'Py to build a tiny interactive inventory. First, open File Explorer and create a new file named dictionary_quest.py. The .py ending tells Windows that this is a Python file. Then open it with Visual Studio Code, and our little dictionary quest is ready to begin. Our tiny inventory starts as a Python dictionary. Each item name is a key, and the number after the colon is its value, which tells us how many we have. The curly brackets keep all these key and value pairs together in one place. This small print block prepares our first visible result. The text line gives it a simple title, while print inventory displays the complete dictionary underneath. One quick run, and every starting item and quantity becomes visible in the terminal. Time to check how many small potions we have. The item key goes inside square brackets, and Python gives us the value connected to it. We keep that number inside potion count, then print it in the terminal. Our moon key has not joined the inventory yet, so this block searches for it safely. The get method looks for the moon key key. If it cannot find it, 0 becomes our backup value instead of an error. We save that answer inside moon key count, then print the result in the terminal. A treasure chest appears, and this input line lets the player choose what happens next. Python saves the typed answer inside choice, while lower changes it into lowercase letters. So whether the player types yes, yes, or yes, our next decision receives the same clean answer. This decision block opens the chest only when choice is equal to yes. Inside the yes path, Python adds a new moon key with a value of 1. Then plus equals adds 25 to the gold coins already stored. Any other answer follows the else path, so the chest stays closed and our inventory does not change. A tiny gatekeeper now checks if the moon key is inside our inventory. If the key exists, Python follows the first path and opens the way. If it is missing, the else path keeps the moon door locked. Our small potion is ready to be used. The pop method removes its key and value pair from the inventory and gives us the removed quantity. We keep that number inside used quantity, then print it to confirm that one potion was used. The first part of our quest ends with one final inventory check. The .items method gives this loop every item key and quantity, one pair at a time. Each turn prints the item name beside its quantity, so the updated inventory appears as a clean list. Part 2 begins inside a new Ren'Py project. Open script.rpy and remove the starter example so we have a clean place for our interactive inventory. We will reuse the same dictionary ideas, but this time the player can control them directly on the screen. Let's begin by creating my character, Mia. Do you know why a character is useful in Ren'Py? It lets me speak through dialogue lines, while Ren'Py automatically displays my name whenever I talk. Next, let's bring the inventory from Part 1 into Ren'Py. Default gives this dictionary its starting information whenever a new game begins. The item names are still the keys, and the numbers are still their quantities, just like before. These three default variables prepare the starting state of the quest. False tells Ren'Py that the chest and the moon door have not been opened yet. The message variable stores the information that will guide the player on the inventory screen. time to create the function that controls the treasure chest. The init Python block prepares this code when Ren'Py starts, while def creates a function named openChest. Later, the openChest button will call it and run every rule stored inside. Before giving away any treasure, this block checks whether the chest was already opened. Store gives the function access to the Ren'Py variable chest opened. If it is true, the message changes to the chest is empty. Return then stops the function immediately, preventing the same reward from being collected twice. What happens when the chest opens successfully? A moon key is added to the inventory, while Get Safely reads the current gold coin's value and increases it by 25. Chest opened becomes true, and the message tells the player exactly what was found. The next function handles the small potion. It first checks whether the potion key is missing from the inventory. If not, it cannot find it. The message changes to no potion left. Return stops the function there, so Ren'Py never tries to use an item that does not exist. With the safety check complete, the potion can now be used. Pop removes the small potion key and its quantity from the inventory, just like in Part 1. The message then confirms the action directly on the screen. The moon door needs its own function and safety check. Not In searches the inventory for the moon key. If the key is missing, the message explains what the player still needs. Return stops the function, keeping the door locked until the key is collected. Once the moon key is available, the door can finally open. Pop removes the key from the inventory because it has now been used, while door opened becomes true. The final message confirms that the moon door is open. With the 3 actions ready, this screen turns them into an interface the player can use. Screen creates a reusable menu named Moon Inventory, while modal keeps the player's clicks focused on it. Every visible part of the inventory window will be placed inside this block. The interface now needs a container for all its visible elements. Frame creates the inventory window, while Align places it halfway across and halfway down the screen. This keeps the complete window centered, no matter which screen size the player uses. Inside the frame, a vertical box organizes every element from top to bottom. V-Box stacks the title, message, item list, and buttons in one column, while spacing adds 15 pixels between them. This keeps the inventory easy to read instead of packing everything together. The window begins with the title, Mia's Inventory. One text statement displays this fixed title, while the other displays the information currently stored inside message. Whenever an action changes that variable, the new guidance appears directly on the screen. The item list now builds itself directly from the dictionary. If the inventory contains something, .items gives the loop each item name and quantity, 1 pair at a time. Ren'Py places those values inside the text line, creating one visible row for every stored item. What should the screen display when no items remain? else handles that empty case and shows inventory is empty instead of an item list. This way, the player always receives a clear result rather than seeing a blank space. The first button lets the player open the treasure chest. Sensitive keeps it clickable only while chest opened is false, and function calls open chest when the button is pressed. Once the reward is collected, the button becomes disabled and cannot run again. The second button handles the small potion. Sensitive checks whether the potion key is still inside the inventory, while function runs, use potion when the button is pressed. Once Pop removes that key, the condition becomes false, and the button disables itself. The moon door button stays available while the door is still closed. When pressed, function runs open door, which checks for the moon key and decides whether the door can open. After door opened becomes true, sensitive disables the button because the quest action is already complete. The final button gives the player a simple way to leave the inventory. When close is pressed, return closes the called screen and sends the game back to the dialogue that was waiting behind it. The interface is now complete, interactive, and ready to be opened from the story. The interface is finished, so the playable story can now begin. Label Start is the entry point Ren'Py opens when the player begins a new game. The letter M then gives me my first dialogue line, inviting the player to open the tiny inventory. The story now opens the interactive inventory we created. Call screen displays Moon Inventory and pauses the dialogue while the player uses its buttons. When the close button runs return, Ren'Py continues with the next dialogue line. After the inventory closes, the story reaches its final dialogue line. I confirm that the tiny dictionary test is complete, while return ends label start and finishes the game. Our Python dictionary has now become a working Ren'Py inventory. The complete script is ready for its final test. Save script.rpy. Return to the Ren'Py launcher and start the project. Try the locked door. Open the chest. Use the potion and unlock the door to watch every dictionary change appear instantly. And that completes our Python dictionaries and Ren'Py inventory quest. Thank you so much for learning and coding with me today. Subscribe for more beginner-friendly adventures, and I'll see you in the next course.